Hey there, Shawn Bayley, and welcome to this video today where I'm going to be talking about Jim Edwards' new book, Copywriting Secrets. I've finished this book, and I've absolutely beat up this book because of all the notes and folded pages and all the goodness that I took from this book. So I'm going to be talking about this book here, why you should go get it, why it's awesome, and I've got something special for you at the end here. So let's go. As always, if you don't have a copy, go get your funnel blueprints. Just go to shawnbayley.com/FBP. You can get 30 pages of funnel blueprints and over 14 different funnel types inside. You can go and take and swipe those. And if you wouldn't mind clicking on the buttons, click the old like button and subscribe, of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel. You can click on the notify button if you want to get notified every time I put out a new video. I'm not sure if that button still works, but hey, it's always fun to click on things. And below, I'd love to hear what kind of questions you have about funnel copywriting. Once you watch this video, if you have any questions about it, be sure to type them below. And I thank you in advance. It really helps me out with YouTube. So let's go over the 5 reasons you will not have to hire a copywriter after you get your hands on this book. Now, first off, you can create sales copy that sells. As you can see, inside this book, it's all laid out with specific formulas. Formulas where you essentially fill in the blanks here. And you can see they've covered everything from headlines, bullets. There's a 13-step sales message formula. There's an awesome email template that I've taken and swiped from here. That's pretty much an ultimate email template if you need to write up an email broadcast to your list. And then what was really, really awesome is that if you go and buy 5 different books on copywriting, you're going to find in each of those books, they're going to talk about headlines, and they're going to talk about bullets, and they're going to talk about how to construct a sales message and whatever, formula or arrangement that they think is best, right? But what I found there was something that was kind of new, was on page 236, was this really kind of awesome thought exercise that's never really been presented to me before. So, there's a lot of, like I say, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of people who write about copywriting or talk about copywriting. But this thing on page 236 was like kind of brand new to me. And like I say, it was a thought exercise. I kind of did it. I started doing it, and then I realized just how intense that it's going to be. And you may need like 10 or 15 minutes where you actually, don't touch your phone, and you just have to like kind of concentrate and like focus on something. So, for most people, that takes a lot of work now to actually disconnect for that long. So I'm actually, once I'm done this video, I'm going to go and jump back into that thought exercise and do it. And trust me, once you get this, you'll see it's very, very cool. So the main thing is that it's just so much easier to edit something that you've created and then rewrite it and make it better and better and improve without starting from a blank page. Like opening up a brand new Word document with a screen there and that's totally blank and the cursor's flashing, like that is the absolute worst place to start from. I couldn't imagine anything worse, right? When you're creating your sales copy, you've got formulas that you can use, and one of the most powerful ones and one of the most simple and longest running ones is how to blank without blank, right? So how to write good sales copy without being good at copywriting, or how to write copy that sells without hiring a copywriter, right? And then again, once we've kind of got the starting point, we can go and keep evolving it and go from how to write copy that sells without being a good copywriter to how to write powerful copy that makes people whip out their wallets no matter what market or business you're in, without feeling like a former used car salesman or being a trained writer in order to make it work. Now, it's a bit wordy on that particular headline, right? But how long would it have taken me to sit down with a blank page and come up with a headline like that versus starting with something simple and just kind of going through and changing it, evolving it, make it better and better and working with it and going and doing it like that, right? 100 times easier. So that's why you're going to love this book, is because there's lots of formulas inside it. Now, what you're going to find out straight away is that you aren't spending your time in the right spot. So we're going to talk about kind of the 80% rule here. So what you see here on this page, you can go and Google this and look this up if you want, but David Ogilvy of the Ogilvy and Mather advertising agency were so good at advertising that they put out an ad that talked about how to advertise because they were so good at it. So what a better way to attract clients to show how awesome you are at doing this. And they had all these steps for what works best on television, what works best in print, because that's what they had back at the time there. So essentially, if you think of what works best in print, you're talking about like web pages or emails or, things that people are still reading in print on them, but they're just doing it differently on their computer screens or on their phones or whatever. But once he got into the talk of what works best in print, he talked about 7 different points all about headlines. So the first point here this was actually number 25, but when he talks about what works best in print, first he talks about headlines. Then he talks about benefits in headlines, news in headlines, simple headlines, how many words in a headline, localized headlines as far as the city in your headline, and then select your prospects in your headline, where he talks about whether you're addressing mothers or bedwetters or people who are going to Europe, right? So you can see how important it is when it comes to your headline on your sales page, because if they don't get past that, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to read the rest of your sales message, and you might have, the perfect solution for them. But if your headline didn't do its job, then you're kind of lost out. Now, in the headlines portion, under point number 25, it's kind of small, but what it actually says is, it says, on average, 5 times as many people read the headline as the body copy. It follows that if you don't sell the product in your headline, you have wasted 80% of your money. That's how important headlines are. This guy realized it back then. It's still the case now. If they don't read your headline's job is to sell them on reading the rest of your sales letter. And he talks very much about how important headlines are. So the next cool thing from this book is that it outlines the 10 reasons people buy from you. So the next thing is that he talks about the 10 reasons that people buy from you. And those are to make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental or physical pain, get more comfort, achieve better cleanliness or hygiene, to attain better health, get praise, feel more loved, or increase your popularity or your social status, right? It makes sense. And those are, basically the main 10 reasons why people buy something. But what happens is he takes you through kind of an exercise on page 17 and asks you questions about your product that makes you kind of tie it to those 10 reasons. And that is, it's going to force you to create sales copy that speaks to different emotions about your product, because people buy because of emotion and justify it with logic. If you're like me, sometimes you get kind of wrapped up in how awesome the product is that you don't address the underlying emotions, that are going to make people take action, because they will justify it afterwards with how great the product is. And next, you'll learn the second most important skill, in my opinion. So the headlines are the most important skill. You want to get people to read the rest of your sales letter because of how awesome your headline is. But after that, the next most important skill is bullets, and he includes the ultimate bullet formula in there. And once you start creating awesome bullets for your product, you'll see that really your headline is nothing more than your best bullet, right? I know, that's kind of deep, but once you get more and more into this, you'll see that's kind of how bullets and headlines are tied together, right? Inside here, there's simple formulas, though, because the ultimate bullet formula is extremely easy to understand, and you can go and practice, and that's how you get better at copywriting. But the same thing with the headlines. Tons of formulas in there. The sales letter, right? It follows a formula, right? 13 pieces, essentially. One of the best quotes in the book is that good sales copy isn't written, it's assembled, right? And kind of a cool story inside the book that he talks about was Jim was trying to sell a product, was sending some traffic to it, not making any sales, right? So what do you do? Like, some people might have been panicked and just like, oh my God, it's like, is the are you sending the right traffic? Is there a problem with the product? People don't like it. What's going on, right? But the first thing that he went and did was that he changed up his headline and then sent some more traffic. And then, oh, what do you know? Then he started making some sales, right? Changed the headline again, tried to improve it, then started making more sales, right? People just weren't even getting past the first part, even though you had an awesome product, right? Nothing changed as far as the product or the sales message below. It's all about changing up the headline. So he talks about that story inside there, going from making no sales, changing the headline, starting to make sales, and then finally, coming up with an even better headline and making even more sales. And that's just how important it is when he talks about it in the book. And I just thought it was a cool story that he shared inside. So I would definitely say it's not easy to write a good book on copywriting, but I feel like he's done it. If you want to save money on a copywriter and start cranking out your own sales copy, this book will let you do it. I thought it was absolutely great. I read the entire thing. I made lots of notes and marks inside of it here. So because of how great this book is, I wanted to give you a chance to get this book and some free bonuses from me. I've got 4 bonuses for you. Just go to ShawnBayley.com/book bonus. You can go and check it out and get access to those 4 free bonuses. All you got to do is send me a screenshot from when you get the book, and then you can get access. And you will get your 4 free bonuses in the form of my free Copywriting Secrets Toolkit. Just go over to ShawnBayley.com/book bonus, and you can go get your hands on it. And I will see you in the next video.